Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about activist tech workers being on thin ice with their employers because a lot of them want their employers to make big statements, big public statements, denouncing ICE, and it's not going very well for them. They're basically being told to shut up and do your job. Shut up and do your job. This article from The Verge, the headline is, "Shut up and focus on the mission. Tech workers are frustrated by their company's silence about ICE." Well, if you're dealing with a company that's just creating a consumer product or something, why would you make a big public statement about it?
Well, companies have stuck their nose into things before. We saw a lot of stuff with pushbacks with BLM. We saw a lot of people, if you didn't have the right number of boxes and did the right things. We saw other instances like Disney. Look what happened with Reedy Creek because they wouldn't stay out of the parental education bill in Florida. So companies, I think, are starting to learn they don't really care what you have to say.
Yeah, just do your job. Shut up and focus on the mission. And that's just it. You don't have to work for the company if you don't like the company, you don't like what they do. What they're frustrated by, I think, is a lot of these workers are realizing that, oh shit, these companies are taking money from the government. They have contracts. Some of them are dealing with ICE. They don't want to
lose that. They're going to lose money, and they'll lose their job anyway because they can't afford to pay you if they don't have their contracts, can they?
Yeah. So this is one of those tough choices in life, and life is full of tough choices, isn't it?
That's right.
So we're gonna talk about this because, I guess my advice to you would be if you have a moral issue with what your company does or produces, then leave.
Yeah.
That's it. Just leave. Don't expect the company to change. Just you don't have to participate in it. But, the job situation's not very good right now. And I think they all figure if they get together and collectively shame their companies that they'll eventually come around. No, that's not how it works. When the layoffs come, you will be first up against the wall.
And here's the thing too. If a company, okay, let's just say, for argument's sake, we're gonna speak out against this or whatever, and those are their clients. Then their clients are going to leave, but then other clients are going to see that and be like, wait, how long till they're mad at me for something? And then they refuse to work with me or call me out publicly when I'm a client.
Yep.
And this is how companies go out of business and how you end up without a job. If you want to end up without a job because you don't like the company, then you leave. It's
not their money though, is it? Right.
No.
And this shows the difference in attitude of, I think, especially a lot of younger tech workers now, where they really think that working at the company is like family, and they have to share their politics and their beliefs, and also the company is there to voice their opinions, be used as a mouthpiece. You're just the employee, right? And they don't understand this. They think it's like one big kumbaya family. They think it's like a clique or something. They think it's a political organization.
Well, you're talking about people who don't talk to their own families because they don't vote the same way. Like, I can no longer be part of your family. I can no longer be your child because you didn't vote the way I wanted you to. That's what we're talking about. So this mentality, of course. But you know what? Fine. Make the world a better place for everybody else who wants to work there in peace. But you don't have to agree with it politically. But it's not the company's place to tell everybody how to think because it makes you feel better.
Yep. So we're going to talk about this. So before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. You'll get a woohoo if you do.
Woohoo.
So there are a couple of specific examples. It's all over tech right now. There are a lot of companies that are being pressured, but we've got, let's see here, SalesForce, outraged SalesForce employees demand CEO Benioff end ICE business after he jokes agents monitor the workers. So Salesforce is working with ICE. A lot of these companies are working with, if not ICE, they're working with other, government agencies, whatever. And Microsoft too, like they're all going on, Microsoft does for sure.
And I want to point out too, that they've been working, Vice Places worked for ICE for years. You're only pissed about it now because the media told you to be mad about it now. But they've been doing ICE stuff. This isn't a new thing. Like, ICE has been around for a long time, and it was even more active under like Obama. But you didn't hear about it from the media because they liked him. So they're just basically going out there and they're getting ass mad and then pointing you out there. What did my mom say? Make the bullets and then have you shoot them. That's what they're doing. Yeah. The media is making the bullets and wants you to shoot them. Is what's going on. Nothing of this is new. If you just do some basic homework, you'd find this out. But you're too busy just being triggered that you're not even like looking into it. A lot of these people have had contracts for years.
So Benioff sparked backlash at the firm's annual conference Monday when he joked that U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents were stationed in the building to keep an eye on international employees, according to Business Insider.
Okay, that probably wasn't smart.
That probably wasn't a smart thing to say as a CEO.
You don't have to like throw salt on the wound. I'm just saying.
404 Media and Wired. Of course, Wired, first report by Wired. Wired has basically just become an anti-ICE website at this point. Like they used to cover tech, and now all they talk about is ICE because I think they're getting mileage off of it. But I think they're trying to stoke the fire, and I think this is going to end with a lot of layoffs. In fact, one of the first comments here said 1,400 out of a U.S. workforce of 37,000 are demanding he apologize. Right. Time for layoffs and the pickoffs will be easy. If an employee of mine ever demanded I stop doing business with anyone, they'd be fired on the spot, no warning and no severance.
That's exactly what's going to happen.
That's exactly what's going to happen. This person says 1,400 people, if they have any type of faith in what they believe, they should be submitting resignations.
Yes.
If not, just a bunch of children in need of a nap, preferably one that doesn't include any future return to work options. That's just it. If it offends you so much, quit. That's the moral thing to do. If not, you're taking blood money, aren't you? Because your paycheck is tied to their activities. So the moral thing to do would be to resign because you don't want people's blood on your hands, do you? I'm just saying.
And if you all resign at once, then maybe it'll put the company in a position that they have to listen to you then. They're not going to listen to you. But,
they're not going to listen.
Actually, they'll probably be very thankful you all left at once. But,
If we didn't have to get rid of you. And I have to wonder if this isn't part of the plan because all these tech companies are laying people off. And I wonder if they're just trying to out the activists so they can lay them off first.
It could be, but seriously, all you have to do is just resign and go find another job. Yeah. That's all you have to do. It's problem solved.
So this is a couple days ago. ICE boycott targets these major companies. Here's why. They're all like tech companies. They have a boycott called Resist and Unsubscribe, and these are all the companies that are working with ICE or ICE adjacent. So it's Amazon, Apple. They're mad because Apple removed an app called ICE Block that allowed users to alert people to federal agents.
Yeah, because that's probably illegal.
It's like, go beat these people up right now. Ding, 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 got one.
No, it's not ding, ding, ding. It's whistle, whistle, whistle.
Oh, they get the whistle. Yeah. Is that what it is, the whistle? AT&T, they have provided IT and tech support since 2021.
That's
Comcast,
what I'm saying. A lot of these places have been doing this for years. It's not new.
Yeah, so I fully expect if you're gonna hold your company to that standard that they have to drop a multi-million or multi-billion-dollar client because it offends you, then I fully expect you to boycott all these companies: AT&T, Comcast, Charter Communications, Dell, FedEx. You can't get any packages anymore. Marriott Hotels, Meta, so you can't go on Facebook anymore. Google, you can't Google
this sounds
anything.
like a great plan. I hope you guys all boycott all of these. We won't have to listen to you anymore.
Microsoft, Uber, UPS, OpenAI, and X. So
I thought the list would be longer.
I thought it'd be longer too, but
again, some of these companies have had contracts for years. Do your basic homework. So let's listen to the media, who are out there just spitting shit. And again, if you really, really feel that, there's a whole bunch more.
Netflix, Paramount
so
Plus.
You can't watch TV. You can't go online. You can't use social media except for Blue Sky, which is where you're all probably hanging out anyway because it's the pickling over there.
Yeah, but does Blue Sky use Amazon Web Services for hosting? That would be interesting, wouldn't it? Yeah, I think I just checked real quick. I think it's an open source framework. But what I'm telling you is like Amazon Web Services powers a good chunk of the internet. Google powers a good chunk of the internet. So you technically, to boycott Microsoft, you can't use Windows. I mean, that's no big loss. But I'm saying if you really believe this, that you have to cut these companies off completely, good luck with that because they're embedded in everything right now.
Wait, Meta, delete the WhatsApp, delete Facebook, delete Instagram. Why isn't it on the list?
Yeah, Instagram's owned by Meta.
And Threads, why aren't they there?
Oh, they have an asterisk for that. Hey, we'd boycott Instagram too if we could, but we need it to get this message to you.
hypocritical bullshit. This is what I'm talking about.
Share this
That's my
message
first thing
widely
I
on
saw.
Instagram.
I was
So
like,
wait a
wait,
sec-
I was like, wait, Instagram isn't on there.
Boycott Meta, except for this one thing that we need.
That's exactly what it is. It's
Oh
like
my
you guys
God.
are such hypocritical. Okay, well, what are these blasts then? What's it say about that?
These are
the-
consumer-facing companies that we have identified as active enablers. So Comcast, AT&T, Dell,
Charter.
FedEx, Lowe's, and Home Depot using AI-powered license plate readers in their parking lots and feeding this data in the law enforcement
Marriott
surveillance.
and UPS. So now you cannot get packages shipped to you because you can't use postal service, you can't use FedEx, you can't use UPS. You're down on whoever can use for providers for your internet or phone. If you can't watch TV anymore.
Look,
This is so fucking stupid.
I want to be clear, right?
You can still use Instagram because that's okay.
Yeah, you can still use Instagram. I want to be very, I want to be very clear. You're allowed to feel about this however the hell you want to feel about it. I don't care. We try not to get into it. But the fact that this has become such a huge talking point in the tech space and in the entertainment space that you're expected to have to say something, you know what I'm saying? That
Right.
Or we're going to shun you, boycott you, whatever. And you're going to basically do an activism and wind up in the unemployment line because that's not the way the world works.
Well,
I mean,
companies had took so much backlash over all the political, stepping into all the political stuff over the last few years.
Yeah.
A lot. They've taken a lot. It doesn't matter. What they've learned is either they take your side, Black BLM and all this other stuff, and they're taking your side, doing all the stuff, doing all the, we're going to put all this money out there and do all this progressive stuff. And then what happened to these companies was as soon as you got a hair up your ass about something else, you boycotted them anyway.
yeah.
So they probably learned to stay the fuck out of it. It's just, this is what this is about. Like we said, we're not telling you what side to take. We're, not telling you that at all. What we're saying is, it's hypocritical, and the companies are going to stay out of it because they've already learned because you burn them no matter what they do.
Yeah, and that's just it. And I think if there hadn't been such demands made of these companies before by these activists,
and did what they wanted.
they caved
now
and they lost a bunch of money, and yeah,
they had that now these activists think that these companies are going to do whatever they want and that they control everything. And I'm like, go ahead. I think you're a vocal minority. I think a lot of people are like, yep, you're here illegally. Bye. You know what? Go ahead and boycott this stuff. Please, by all means, please boycott some of this stuff. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, and this is again what really took down the tech industry. Why it is so different now from what it was, 10 years ago, is they started hiring a bunch of activists to work for these companies, and a lot of these people, I'm going to be honest, they're not qualified. They shouldn't be there, and they've been right sizing for the last 3 or 4 years now. And I think this is going to be used to weed out more people to get rid of.
That's exactly what they're going to do because that's what they've been doing. If there's something difficult, you just narrowed it down real fast.
So BBC has this one from a couple of days ago. Google staff call for firm to cut ties with ICE. And yeah, I think we talked about that one before. Yeah, nearly 900 full-time Google employees demanded...
How many thousands?
Yeah, I know, right? Demanded more transparency over what the company's technology is being used for inside the U.S. government. Well, that's none of your damn business.
Well, they can't tell you that.
No. You do the job you're hired to do. And if you find it distasteful, then you quit and you go work someplace else.
Well,
right?
was the company Palantir or whatever it was?
Palantir, yeah.
Palantir.
Alex Karp recorded a video about ICE for his employees. He said in a video shared with his employees, he did not explain how ICE is utilizing the company's products. Instead, workers were told they can sign NDAs if they want more detailed information. You probably can't. You're dealing with the government. I worked for a software company, and our clientele, most of our clients, I'd say 95% of our clients were government agencies. And some of us did not have access to everything. Some of us did. Some of the people that had access to everything actually had security clearance. And there were a couple that, like, military would actually come in, Department of Defense would come in, and we were not allowed to go downstairs in the server room when they were there. And you know what? It wasn't my job doing what I did to ask what was up, right?
Yeah.
I wanted my paycheck. I needed my paycheck. We had a kid. We had to rent. And, I'm sure if I found out the full truth, I'd probably be like, oh, that's kind of dicey. I don't really. But you know what? It wasn't my job.
Well,
to know.
but he's even good. He's saying, okay, fine, you can. I'll tell you, but you have to sign an NDA because we can't have that getting out of here.
No.
If it goes out, you're going to lose all your clients. I wouldn't even give them that option because I don't think people can be trusted even with an NDA.
That's the thing. NDAs are only worth something if people don't squeal, right? And people sign NDAs all the time and then they turn around and squeal. Then they get sued for it. But it's like once you've let the genie out of the bottle, you can't put it back in.
I wouldn't even do that, dummy. That was stupid.
That is actually stupid. Or they might give them just enough, like, yes, we're working with this department or whatever. But normally the answer you'll get is that's classified. And actually my boss at that company I worked at, he actually was ex-military. And I would ask him stuff, just kind of off the cuff. I had a pretty good relationship with him. And he'd say, yeah, it's classified. I can't talk about it. You don't need to know. Basically, you don't need to know. Go back to your office, do your thing.
He probably just told you if he didn't want to talk about it. Like, that's classified.
Yeah. Because I think if people knew, like, the extent of it. And that was that company. We actually, at one point in time, we were being eyed up by Google. Google was going to buy the company because of all the government contracts that
what his idea that was.
Yeah, that's a whole nother thing.
Okay, you was gonna sell it, use your idea, and not give you anything. But that's okay.
Yeah. Anyway, speaking of Google, so Google is offering buyouts to their employees if they're not all in with the way that they're conducting business right now. And I think this covers their politics and also if they don't like AI, like you can just leave. And I think we're going to see a lot of companies do this, except I think some companies are going to do it and they're not going to offer to buy you out. They're just going to say, there's the door. You don't like it? You don't want to work here? There's the door. If you're a vegan, you go to work at McDonald's, guess what? You're making hamburgers. If you have a problem with that, you don't get a job at McDonald's, right? It's as simple as that.
Well, to what you said, though, if a company offers you an out, take it because at least they're giving you something.
Yeah.
Where if you're the people that have been complaining and signing this 900-person letter and everything else, and they're offering you an out that if you don't like this, hey, you can take the money and go, and you don't, they're just going to cut you anyway, and you don't get anything. So.
Yeah. So this is what they said. They said, we're starting the year in a strong position thanks to everything you accomplished in 2025. But the game is dynamic, the pace is electric, and the stakes are high. They said that, they want to transform to AI first, but if you have any problems with anything that Google's doing, return to office or any of that shit, they'll just buy you out. But yeah, most companies aren't even going to do that. They're not going to do it. But
even Google, if you don't do it, and you're one of the ones complaining, you're probably gone anyway. At least this way you get some money.
I guarantee you this is going to be like the Washington Post, where they basically looked at that list of people that called Jeff Bezos out, and that was the list of people that they fired for the most part when they laid people off. If you are vocal against your employer, you're not entitled to that job, and they will get rid of you because you're disloyal. You can't have people working for you that are going to undermine you from within the company. You just can't do it. So if they're not on board with the mission, they got to go. I mean,
it really sucks for people who got laid off before because they were doing cuts based on, seniority or whatever to get rid of people before. And then people who might have been okay with it got cut. And now people got to stay or like complaining and now they get to take a buyout. I'd be pissed.
Yeah, I would be too. Like, you get rewarded for that, right? So there we go, guys. This is going to be very interesting. I think we're going to see a lot of rounds of layoffs. I think it's going to be the kinds of people you would expect. A lot of activists, and there's going to be a lot of screeching, but you know what? Just, again, you don't have to like it. Just leave on your own.
Right.
That's all you got to do.
Yeah, if you're going to pick a big scene, then just stand by your principles and go.
Yeah. So we're going to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.